All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back for another video. I know I haven't uploaded in like 5 days, and plus, for main reason, I've been trying to work on my Twitch account and get affiliated with that. And plus, been having sinus infection all week, and finally feeling a whole lot better than I did like Sunday, Monday, whatever like that. Like the whole week, I've been real bad sick. Even my voice was going in and out. It was changing. It sounded like a damn drunk frog and shit or whatever. But anyway, we're back with another video. So hope you guys are ready for me to return with the reactions. And I might try to get some more basketball content out maybe next week or something like that. We'll see. But anyway, we got the 10 best NBA players of all time. And let's welcome back Sean David with Basketball Time Machine. And yeah, so we'll get right to the video. Make sure you guys subscribe and check out my Twitch account. I will put the description. I'll put the link down in the description. The name will be up on the screen right above me or wherever I put it. But anyway, let's get to the video.
With my number 10 player, which is going to be Bill Russell. And I know that many of you guys will probably disagree, but please hear me out. Now, the reason why I have him at my number 10 spot is...
Oh, anyway, I know y'all guys will know that Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird will be in this top 10. But what spot do y'all think that they will be in? Like, you think Larry Bird will be in top 3? Or will it be like Magic Johnson, number 1? No, Michael Jordan, number 1, Magic Johnson, probably LeBron, then Larry Bird. No, maybe I don't know. It's so many great players, man. It's hard to put them. You know, everybody got their own, perspective behind and stuff like that. But we'll see.
I take into consideration how many teams he played against back in the days, what the competition was looking like, and how strong his team was in comparison to the teams he played against. And there's no denying that the Boston Celtics teams that he played on were just so much better than his competitors. His biggest rival back in the days was Will Chamberlain, obviously, and his teams were good too. I mean, he was playing with Jerry West when he was playing with the Lakers, and he was playing with Elgin Baylor when he was playing for the Lakers, so he had a great team there. But his Celtics teams in general were just so much better than all the other teams. And I think that also one of the reasons why he won so many championships was his competition was just not as good.
Yeah.
And when you take a look at his skill set, he was probably one of the greatest defenders of all time.
Yeah, because not to take away that Bill Russell was a great player, but all because he was a great player anyway, period. But the competition back then was like not all that good. Like you just said, it wasn't all that good. But it doesn't take away that Bill Russell is still a great player.
But offensively, Bill Russell was not as developed as, for example, let's take Hakeem Olajuwon, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Shaq, for example, some of the other bigs. So yes, he won 11 rings, and yes, he's one of the greatest players of all time. But because of the weaker competition and how strong his team was, I can only rank him at number 10. My number 9 is going to be Shaquille O'Neal.
Hey.
Now, Shaq is probably the most dominant player of the modern day NBA. And
did Shaq just do a jelly layup? Hold on.
I should say modern day NBA because, yeah, Shaq hasn't played for so many years now, but you know what I mean. To me, in my opinion, Shaq is way more. 10. My number 9 is...
I tried to go back and it went to a damn ad. My apologies.
Going to be Shaquille O'Neal. Now, Shaq is probably the most dominant player of the modern day NBA. And it's strange to say modern day NBA because, yeah, Shaq hasn't played for so many years now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
To me, in my opinion, Shaq is way more skilled offensively than people give him credit for. I think he had a nice baby hook. He had a solid post game. And yes, he did a lot with his force and his strength, but he could also play. I think Kenny Smith said it pretty well once when he said that Shaq would have made it to the NBA even if he would have been a lot shorter and not as physically dominant.
Oh, yeah.
On defense, he was a solid defender, not the greatest defender of all time, but solid. Shooting wise, he was not a great mid-range shooter, so he had some weaknesses in his offensive game, and defensively, as I said, he was not the quickest when it came to sliding his feet. But overall, that guy was just incredible. And of course, he won 4 championships, so he deserved to be at my number 9 position. So the next player on my list, so position number 8 is going to be Wilt Chamberlain. And I'm pretty sure some of you guys might disagree, but please hear me out again. I think the NBA in the 50s and 60s in general was not as developed, so you had a large lack of skill set, and the game was still...
One thing I like about Sean David in this takes or whatever, like, he explains everything down to the T. He explains why he make a certain decision on certain stuff, and for the most part, he having a valid point. So, you know, I can't argue with the guy.
Still finding its way, so Wilt was just so much ahead of his time, and that's why he was able to score 100 points in a single game and average 50 points during his entire season. But also, it's not Wilt's fault that he was so much advanced. And I think that if he would have played in the 80s and 90s, he still would have been the guy who would average 30 points. He was that good, but it was also a mix of the lack of skill and the game still finding its way back in the day. So Wilt definitely deserves to be in the top 10.
That hook shot.
Any one of you guys who play basketball knows, even if you play against a group of plumbers, it's still incredibly difficult to score 100 points in a single game and to average 50 points. So that, I don't want to take anything away from Wilt.
That
was incredible, but I can't rank him higher. So Wilt deserves to be number 8. My number 7 will be Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. And yes, again, many of you guys will disagree, but to me, Hakeem Olajuwon is almost the best big of all time. I actually had a time period where I thought he was the greatest big of all time, and even better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The reason why I rank Hakeem Olajuwon so high is because he was such a complete player. Defensively, I think he's the greatest defender of all time as a big, because he was not only able to block his shot, he was also able to guard guards in the pick and roll situation. He was so quick with his feet, he could slide his feet better than any big. His defensive mindset was incredible, and then you have his incredible offensive skill set. I mean, when it comes to the post game, I think he's the second best post player of all time. I mean, there's a reason why guys like Kevin McHale, who's obviously the greatest post player of all time, says that Hakeem was incredible. And just that combination, plus winning 2 championships with the Houston Rockets, while he was the only All-Star in the first championship in 1994 against the New York Knicks, I think that was a very high accomplishment, and people don't give him the credit that he deserves. To me, he's the most underrated big of all time, so he deserves to be on that position. My number 6 is going to be Magic Johnson, probably the greatest point guard of all time.
I was not expecting him to have Magic Johnson so low. At number 6? That meaning he probably got, I know he has Bird. Okay, top 5, he probably has Bird, Jordan, LeBron, maybe AI, and probably like Tim Duncan. I still Stephen Curry. I don't know. We'll see. That's.
And I love John Stockton, and John Stockton is probably the best point guard when it comes to making the best of your skill set and your opportunities. But overall, Magic Johnson is just the perfect point guard. I mean, being so tall, seeing the court the way he does, being such a great passer, making everyone better on his team. I think that guy was just incredible. And there's a reason why he won 5 championships. And yes, he had a great team with the Lakers, and I think the Lakers were the greatest team in the 1980s. But still, you got to be as good as Magic to make that happen. Also, I think there's one thing that people don't give him the credit for that he deserves. He really wanted to win. That guy is the definition of a winner. So Magic, you deserve to be on that position. And my number 5 is going to be Kobe Bryant. And it's crazy, but even Magic Johnson said that Kobe Bryant might be the best Laker of all time. So even better as Kareem. Magic has his points. Anyway, I think Kobe Bryant is not only the closest thing to Michael Jordan, but if you have a guy that is so close to Michael Jordan in almost every single way, obviously he has to be super, super high on that list. And yes, it took Kobe a long time to chill and to figure out how to involve his teammates, but when it comes to his work ethic and what he was able to do on the court, I think Kobe is really underrated. If you don't have him in your top 5 or top 6, I think you're doing him wrong. Kobe was just that good offensively, and from his IQ and from his will to win, I think there's hardly any player who can match him. So Kobe, my number 5. So my number 4 is going to be LeBron James. And yes, I am not the biggest fan of the modern day NBA, but it's not LeBron James's fault that he's playing in this era. And when you're watching him objectively, that guy is just a unique talent and definitely the best player in the NBA for many, many years. He has some things that I don't like about him, his flopping, and that he's always joining super teams to have the easy way to win a championship. But even if he never would have done that, if he would have played on a decent team with the Cleveland Cavaliers, he would have won some championships too. So LeBron deserves to be at the number 4. I will never have him in the GOAT conversation because that position is covered. There will never be anyone else, in my opinion, but LeBron definitely deserves the number 4 spot. And my number 3 is going to be Larry Bird. And again, I'm 100% sure that everybody will agree. But Larry Bird to me is simply the greatest player when it comes to making the maximum out of what you have. The guy was not fast, he could not jump, but his basketball IQ and his fundamentals and his will to win were just insane. And I'm 100% sure if he would have put Larry Bird's skill set and mindset in a more athletic body, he probably would have been the best basketball player of all time. And that comes from the biggest Michael Jordan fan of all time. I think Larry Bird would have won more championships if he would have played on the Los Angeles Lakers. And here comes the Larry Bird Magic Johnson comparison. This is also the reason why I have Larry higher than Magic. I think the Lakers team was better than the Celtics team. The Lakers had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Byron Scott, James Worthy, Jamal Wilkes, Michael Cooper, and the team in general was way deeper than the Celtics. And that's the reason why I think the Lakers won more championships than the Celtics, even though the Celtics also had great teams. But in general, the Lakers were just better, in my opinion.
Larry Bird crazy.
I cannot have Larry Bird not on my number 3. To me, I love that guy so much, and I think he was just one of a kind. So he's my number 3. My number 2 is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the best big of all time, and I only give him the slight nudge over Hakeem Olajuwon in that department, but yeah, because he's the greatest scorer of all time, and this guy was just one of a kind. There's a reason why nobody was able to manage the shot the way he does, and people always ask, why is nobody else doing that? Because that shot is so damn difficult to make it on a consistent basis.
It really was.
And he was a great rebounder, a great defender, high basketball IQ, very competitive, and all that he has done for the game, he has to be my number 2. And LeBron James, even when LeBron James will surpass him scoring wise, he will never surpass Kareem in my top 10 list, never. And my number 1, every one of you guys will know it. My number 1 will be Michael
Jordan, of course.
There's a reason why Michael Jordan will always be my number 1. I watched almost his entire career, and when you have the combination of grace, skill, fundamentals, the will to win, making his teammates better and everything. I mean, how can you place anyone higher than Michael Jordan? He won 6 championships, and he won 3 championships with the Chicago Bulls in a time where I would not say that the Bulls automatically had the greatest team. I mean, Scottie at one point was the only other All-Star on his team, and there were teams that probably had more skilled players on their team, but Jordan was just that good, and he made Scottie Pippen that good. And when you watch the Last Dance documentary, it certified how determined Jordan was, how far he was willing to go in order to win championships. He was by far the best player. Let me repeat, by far the best player of all time. LeBron James will never be able to touch it. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, being the second greatest player of all time, also has no chance against Jordan. Jordan is the number 1.
Period. Michael Jordan is number 1. So, if y'all want to, y'all can comment down below your top 10 or maybe just your top 5 greatest players of all time, no matter what era they came out of. Because I say my top 5 would be Jordan, of course, Iverson, because he's my favorite player, because the way he just plays and just, you know, like him being 5'11", 6 foot, just playing hard as he can every game. I'm talking about every game, playing through injuries and stuff. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. I would say like number 3 be like Larry Bird. I love, you know, his IQ, his defense, his toughness. He's willing to do whatever it takes to win. He's scoring, everything. So that's 3. And 4, Kobe. I put Kobe because, you know, he's the closest thing to Jordan, of course, like everybody knows. Just that mentality, the mentality to win at all costs. Number 5, I would probably say, this tough at number 5. I can use either Magic Johnson, I can use Shaq,